Blocks are great. They're one of the most useful tools in AutoCAD. It's one of the reasons why we do CAD. So dynamic blocks, though, can be even more useful as they can change on the fly to better fit your needs. So let's make a dynamic block. As an example here, I work in civil engineering field, and I need to place a north arrow on my drawings in plan view. So typically north is shown to be facing to the top of the drawing or directly to its left. Now, sometimes though, north is rotated so that the drawing fits the paper better, especially in what we call plan and profile views. So let's make a north arrow block that can be rotated on a whim. And let's add it in different styles of arrows just for variety's sake. So let's open up a file called Chapter Project Dynamic Blocks. Now, I've created a completed version of it as well for you to look at in case you want to compare what you're doing to what I've done to see if we're on the same page or if you're having issues or anything, which is perfectly fine. So we're going to work with a dynamic blocks.dwg for this chapter project and click open. Now here we have 3 different north arrow blocks. We have this one here. It's called the north arrow double closed open. So it's a double arrow. One side is closed, one side's open. This one is a double open. So it has 2 open arrows and tails. And then this one here is just a single open, just one arrow. So they're all very typical, standard, straightforward north arrows. So what we want to do is combine them together to create one block with a visibility state so that I can just change between the different styles. And we're going to also add a rotate parameter and action to it so I can spin them around. So what we're going to do first is get our line work into our dynamic blocks. Now, one thing you can do with a dynamic block is insert other blocks. Each one of these are already blocks, so it'll be very easy to do. I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to type in the word block, because I'm going to put all of this line work into one block, and I'm going to call it north arrow. Now you can see right here what it looks like. It's called north arrow and has all these objects in it, and I'm going to convert this to a block. Click OK. So now I have one block. So if I select it, right click, and go to the block editor, now I can move these around all that I want to. So all these are almost identical, but they're a little bit different. And what I want to do is to create a visibility state for each one of those. But before I do that, I want to also add in something else. I want to move them so that the center of this arrow right here is at 0, 0. So I select them, push in hashtag 0, 0, press enter. So, they disappeared on me. Now I just zoomed it in, it just moved way down here. So now I'm going to move all of these, base it off of the center of each of these circles, and move each one of those to the same location. So now they're all right on top of each other. Now they're kind of hard to see, but that's okay. This is how we kind of want the block to look. Now I want to add something else to it though. I want to add an attributed block and default it to an N for north. This way we can change it in the drawing if we need to. So I'm going to use the attribute definition here. I'm just going to call it north, and the prompt is going to be N. So for the text height, I'm just going to make this 0.12 units. And for the justification, I'm going to make it middle center. I'm going to lock the position, click OK, and put it right in the center right there. So I don't like that showing up saying north. So I'm going to double click on that. I'm just going to make that a capital N as well. Okay, so there we go. So now if I go to my test block, see right now I have an arrow and some text right in there, the letter N. Okay. If I double click on it, I can change that N to say south or whatever I may want to do. Though typically you leave it as north, but that's okay. Just want to make sure it works. Okay, so far everything is working. Now I need to create a visibility state. So I go to parameters, click on visibility, and let's set up a parameter location for that. I'm just going to put it close to the center right here, and there it is. See, I have that little yellow box with the exclamation point in it. That means there's something wrong. So I need to create some more visibility states. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to make it call it both closed. Press enter. I'm going to make another new visibility state, and I'm just going to tell it to leave the visibility objects unchanged. I'm going to select it and rename it. Call it both open. Again, make a new one. Leave it the same. Call it single open. So single open, I'm going to go there and do that. So now I need to hide stuff. So I'm going to say make invisible. There's where it might get a little tricky because I might not be able to select the proper blocks. So I'm going to hide that one here. I'm going to hide this one here as well. And I got lucky. That's the one I wanted to show. Just this one visibility state. So in this case, this is the single open. Now let's go to the open both. Now one thing I can do is select this, see the block. I have the double open close. So in order to help me pick the right ones, I can do a couple of different things. I'm going to come down here, click on my customization and turn on selection cycling. That's right here in my taskbar now, and I'm going to make sure that's turned on. So I'm going to come over here to select something, and I have these two different block references available. Now this is the both open, so that's the one I want to pick. I want to make sure that it's working. So I have the double open, that's the one I want to keep, in a double closed open. So let's select that. And I saw those right here in my properties palette. Then I'm going to click the make invisible. So there I did. Now I have two more block references here. So I need to do the same thing until I find the single open. That's what I want to turn off, the single open. So you can see it's right here in my properties palette for the miscellaneous name. I select that and I click on the hide option again. Okay, so now in this visibility state, I have the single open, both open. Now I need to go to both closed. So I'm going to do the same sort of thing again. Come over here, single open. I don't want that one. Select it, hide it. Come over here again, select it, double open. I want double closed open. That's the one I want to keep. So find the double open, click hide. Well, let's test what we have so far. So now I have my block. If I select it, I have both closed. Okay, that looks good. Both open, great. And single open, fantastic. So if some of that didn't work properly, then you'll just have to close this and then go back through your visibility states and fix them. Hide and show what you need to get those correct. So that's fantastic. Well, now I want to add a parameter. Now, one thing I could have done was do the parameters first, but I didn't. So that's okay. And I want a rotation. So I'm going to go rotation and I'm going to pick a base point. Type in center. I'm going to go here to the center of this circle. And then I'm going to grab the end point of my arrowhead. Now I want to be able to rotate this all the way around. So I'm typing in 360 for 360 degrees. Now I need an action. So now I pick my rotate action and I'm going to pick everything on here. But first I have to pick my action. So I've picked the action and now I have to pick all of the objects. Well, I don't want my text to rotate. I want the end to stay orientated this way. So I'm going to unselect that and press enter. So that in this visibility state, both closed, I can rotate. So let's go to the test block again. So move both closed. Here's my rotation, and I can rotate it 90 degrees or 180 or 360, 270, whatever it is. So now if I go to both open, you see I don't have those parameters left. So now I need to go and close this, switch visibility states, and let's get a parameter set in here so we can do this all in one step. And here's the rotation set. Click that, pick the center of that circle, pick the endpoint for the north arrow, type in 360, and I come down here and I need to select my selection set, select my parameter here, which is the angle, press enter. I didn't pick them all. I have to do that again. It's okay. New selection set, pick angle, and pick everything again, except for my text. Press enter, and everything looks good. So let's go down to my last visibility set, pick my rotation set again. And again, this gets kind of redundant sometimes, but these are the steps you go through one time, and you won't ever have to go through them again, because you'll be able to use this set, this block, and you'll be able to use it all the time, over and over again, in every situation. Okay, let's give this a final test. So we have this here, and we have the both closed, and I can rotate it. Works great. Both open. Okay, that's good. Letter N is there. I can rotate this. Awesome. And my single open, and there we go. So now I have a north arrow that I can use, and I can put it anywhere I want. I can change the styles on a whim, and I can rotate this to whatever my needs are. So that's the process of creating a dynamic block and how you use the different tools inside the block editor to create your parameter and your actions to control your line work. And we also showed you here how you can combine attributed blocks, visibility states, and a rotate parameter and action for these different things. And now you have a north arrow that you can use in a lot of different situations.